Hosea, God's Redeeming Love, 1 through 3 and 5. Lesson 1. Part 2. B. Israel's restoration foretold. Hosea 1:10 through 2:1. 1. Though cast off, God promises a restoration. 2. There might be a reference to restoration from Assyrian and Babylonian captivity. 3. However, both Paul and Peter apply this promise to believing Jews and Gentiles in the church, Romans 9:25 through 26, and 1 Peter 2:10. C. Israel's unfaithfulness, 2 through 13. 1. Condemnation for her sinful conduct, Hosea 2 through 5. A. Charges of harlotry and adultery. B. No mercy on her children, as the children of harlotry. God's rage for Israel's unfaithfulness, described in the terms of an enraged husband who learns not only of his wife's adultery, but that the children are not his. 2. Punishment for her sinful conduct, Hosea 2:6 through 13. A. God will prevent Israel from finding her lovers. B. God will take away the blessings and the feasts that Israel enjoyed. C. God will destroy what Israel has used to commit spiritual harlotry. Israel's sin was foremost her idolatry, references to Baal. God viewed such idolatry as a form of harlotry. D. Israel's restoration described, chapters 2:14 through 23. 1. Using a wilderness, God will win her back, just as he did in the days of Moses and Joshua, Hosea 2:14 through 15. 2. God will cure her of using the language of Baal worship, Hosea 2:16 through 17. 3. God will establish a covenant of peace and safety and betroth Israel to him once again, Hosea 2:18 through 20. 4. God will once again bless them and be merciful to them as his people, Hosea 2:21 through 23. While there may be references to the restoration from captivity, it also foreshadows the age of the Messiah and his spiritual blessings. See Romans 9:25 through 26 and 1 Peter 2:10. E. Israel's restoration, 3:1 through 5. 1. Hosea is charged to love an adulterous woman, Hosea 3:1 through 3. A. Most take this to be Gomer, who had gone into harlotry. B. Hosea takes her back, though with a period of probation. 2. Symbolizing God's willingness to take Israel back, Hosea 3:4 and 5. A. Also with a probationary period in which there be no king, sacrifices, etc. B. But Israel would return and seek the Lord and David their king, the Messiah? Conclusion. 1. In these first 3 chapters it appears God used Hosea to teach Israel an object lesson. A. Through Hosea's experience with Gomer, God provided Israel a concrete illustration of what his relationship with Israel had been like. B. Israel had played the harlot, but God would take her back following a period of punishment and probation. Keeping this analogy in mind will assist our understanding of the remaining chapters. 2. A lesson to be learned from this analogy is how God views apostasy, spiritual harlotry. A. Christians, we are betrothed to Christ, 2 Corinthians 11:2. B. But we too can become spiritual harlots if we are not careful, 2 Corinthians 11:3. Are we being true to our betrothal? May the words of the Lord in Hosea encourage us to remain forever faithful. I will betroth you to me forever. Yes, I will betroth you to me in righteousness and justice, in loving kindness and mercy. I will betroth you to me in faithfulness, and you shall know the Lord. Hosea 2:19 and 20. This ends our study of Hosea, God's Redeeming Love, Lesson 1.